In the spring of the second year of the Yifeng era, under Emperor Gaozong of the Tang, the great master, the Sixth Patriarch, came from Faxing Temple in Guangzhou to Baolin Temple on Mount Nanhua at Kaoxi. Wei Ku, the prefect of Shaozhou, together with his officials, went up into the mountain to invite the master into the city, to the lecture hall of Dafen Temple, to open wide for the assembly the causes and conditions of the Buddha's Dharma, and to expound its essentials. When the master took his seat upon the platform, those who had come to hear the Dharma included Prefect Wei and his officials, more than 30 of them, leaders and scholars of the learned world of that time, more than 30 more, and over 1,000 monks, nuns, Taoists, and lay people. Together they bowed to the master, hoping to hear the essential meaning of the Dharma. The master spoke to the assembly. "Good friends, the Bodhi self-nature of every person is originally pure. Use only this pure Bodhi mind, and in that very moment you can awaken and become a Buddha. Good friends, first listen to the story of how I, Huineng, sought the Dharma and received it. My father was originally registered in Fanyang. Later he was demoted and banished to Lingnan, and so became a commoner of Xinzhou. This life of mine has been unfortunate. My father died early, leaving my aged mother and me to depend on each other. Later we moved to Nanhai. Each day I sold firewood to make a living, and our days were very hard and bitter. One day a customer bought firewood and asked me to deliver it to his inn. The customer took the firewood, and as I received my money and stepped out the door, I saw a guest reciting a sutra. The moment I heard the words he recited, my mind suddenly opened in awakening. So I asked him, "Sir, what sutra are you reciting?" The guest answered, "The Diamond Sutra." I asked again, "Where have you come from? How did you come to hold and recite this sutra?" He answered, "I have come from Dongshan Temple in Huangmei County, Qizhou. That is the place where the great master Hongren teaches and guides. More than 1,000 disciples follow him in study. I went to Dongshan Temple to bow to the Fifth Patriarch, and there I received this sutra. The master often urges both monastics and lay people, only recite the Diamond Sutra, and you will naturally see your own self-nature, and in that very moment awaken and become a Buddha." When I heard these words, because of good karma from the past, a guest gave me 10 tiles of silver to provide for my aged mother's needs, and told me to go to Huangmei to bow to the Fifth Patriarch. After I had settled my mother, I took my leave, and in little more than 30 days I reached Huangmei and bowed to the Fifth Patriarch. The Fifth Patriarch asked me, "Where are you from, and what do you seek in coming here?" I answered, "Your disciple is a commoner from Xinzhou in Lingnan. I have come from afar to bow to you, Master, seeking only to become a Buddha, nothing else." The Patriarch said, "You are from Lingnan, a barbarian. How can you become a Buddha?" I said, "People may be from the north or the south, but the Buddha nature has no north or south. The body of a barbarian and the body of a monk are not the same, but what difference is there in the Buddha nature each one already possesses?" The Fifth Patriarch wished to speak with me further, but seeing his followers gathered around, he ordered me to go and work with the others. I said, "Huineng would say to you, Master, in this disciple's own mind, wisdom keeps arising, never apart from self-nature. This itself is the field of merit. I do not know what work the Master still wishes me to do." The Patriarch said, "This barbarian's nature is very sharp. Say no more. Go to the threshing shed and work." I withdrew to the back courtyard, where a lay worker set me to splitting firewood and pounding rice. So I worked for more than 8 months. One day the Fifth Patriarch came to the back courtyard. Seeing me, he said, "I think your understanding is of use, but I fear that evil people may harm you, so I have not spoken much with you. Do you understand?" I answered, your disciple also knows the master's intention. That is why I have not dared to come before the Dharma hall, so as not to arouse suspicion. One day the fifth patriarch called together all his disciples and said, I say to you, for the beings of this world, birth and death are a great matter. You spend your days seeking only merit, not seeking to escape the bitter sea of birth and death. If your own true self-nature is diluted, what can merit alone save you from? Each of you, go back and look into your own wisdom. Take up the prajna self-nature of your own original mind, and each compose a verse to show me. If anyone awakens to the great meaning of the Dharma, I will hand down to him the robe and the Dharma, making him the sixth patriarch. Hurry, do not delay. To deliberate is useless. One who sees self-nature must see it the moment it is spoken of. Such a person could see his self-nature even in the midst of battle, sword in hand. The assembly withdrew and said to one another, there is no need for us to clear our minds and exhaust ourselves composing verses. What use would it be to present a verse to the master? Shen Xiu, the head monk, is our teacher. Surely he will be chosen. For us to compose verses rashly would only waste our effort. Hearing this, they all gave up the thought of composing a verse, saying, from now on, we will simply rely on the venerable Shen Xiu. Why trouble ourselves to compose verses? Shen Xiu thought to himself, the others do not present verses because I am their teacher. I must compose a verse and present it to the master. If I do not, how can the master know whether my understanding is deep or shallow? If my purpose in presenting a verse is to seek the Dharma, that is good. But if it is to seek the patriarch's seat, that is an evil thing, no different from the worldly mind that schemes to grasp a sacred position. Yet if I do not present a verse and ask for the master's confirmation, I will never receive the Dharma. This is truly a hard thing indeed. Before the fifth patriarch's hall, there were 3 corridors. The layman Lu Zhen had been invited to paint their scenes from the Lankavatara Sutra and a chart of the fifth patriarch's lineage, so that they might be passed down and honored by later generations. After Shen Xiu had finished his verse, he tried several times to present it to the fifth patriarch. But each time he came before the hall, his mind grew confused and his whole body broke into sweat. He wished to present it, yet could not decide. 4 days passed and 13 times he failed to present his verse. Then Shen Xiu thought, it would be better to write the verse on the wall of the corridor, so the master can see it himself. If he says it is good, I will come forward and bow and say it is mine. If he says it is not good, then I will know I have wasted my years in the mountains, vainly receiving the respect of others. What way could I still be cultivating? So that night, in the 3rd watch, telling no one, Shen Xiu quietly left his room. Holding a lamp himself, he wrote his verse on the wall of the south corridor, revealing the understanding in his mind. The verse said, the body is the Bodhi tree, the mind is like a bright mirror stand. At all times wipe it clean with diligence, and let no dust settle there. After writing the verse, Shen Xiu returned to his quarters, and no one in the temple knew. Again he thought, tomorrow when the fifth patriarch sees this verse, if he is pleased, it means I have an affinity with the Dharma. If he says it is not good, then surely my own mind is deluded, my past karma too heavy, and I am not meant to receive the Dharma. The master's holy intention is truly hard to fathom. In his room he turned the matter over and over, restless whether sitting or lying down, until the 5th watch. In truth, the 5th patriarch already knew that Shen Xiu had not yet entered the gate, had not yet seen his self-nature. At dawn, he called for Lu, the painter, to come and paint the pictures on the south corridor wall. Suddenly he saw Shen Xiu's verse and said to him, Painter, there is no need to paint. I am sorry to have troubled you to come so far. The sutra says all forms are illusory, so let this verse remain, that the assembly may recite and hold it. Practice according to this verse, and you can avoid falling into the three evil paths. Practice according to this verse, and you will gain great benefit. He told the disciples to burn incense before the verse and bow with reverence, and that by reciting it, they could see their self-nature. The disciples recited the verse and all praised it, saying, "How good!" In the third watch of the night, the fifth patriarch called Shen Xiu into the hall and asked, "Did you write that verse?" Shen Xiu answered, "Yes, your disciple wrote it. I do not dare presume to seek the patriarch's seat. I only hope the master, in his compassion, will see whether your disciple has a little wisdom." The patriarch said, "The verse you wrote has not yet seen self-nature. You are still outside the gate. You have not entered the room. With such understanding, to seek supreme Bodhi is in the end impossible. Supreme Bodhi requires that, the moment it is spoken, you recognize your own original mind and see that your original nature is neither born nor destroyed. At all times, in thought after thought, you see your own true self-nature, and all things are unobstructed. Recognize the true suchness of self-nature, and all dharmas are then true, and every state of being is itself thus, unmoving, unborn, and undying. This unmoving mind is the true nature revealed when one lets go of the two attachments to a self and to dharmas. To see in this way is the self-nature of Supreme Bodhi. Go back and reflect for a day or two, then compose another verse and bring it to me. If your verse can enter the gate, I will hand down the robe and the Dharma to you." Shen Xiu bowed and withdrew. Several days passed, and still Shen Xiu could not complete a verse. His mind was confused, his thoughts uneasy, as if he were in a dream. Whether walking or sitting, he found no joy. 2 more days passed. A young boy came by the threshing room, reciting Shen Xiu's verse aloud. The moment I heard it, I knew that this verse had not yet seen self-nature. Though I had not received any teaching, I already understood the great meaning of the Dharma. I asked the boy, "What verse are you reciting?" The boy said, "You barbarian, don't you know? The great master, the fifth patriarch, says that birth and death are the most important matter in human life. He wishes to hand down the robe and bowl and the Dharma, so he ordered his disciples to compose verses for him to see. Whoever awakens to the great meaning will receive the robe and the Dharma and become the sixth patriarch." The Venerable Shen Xiu wrote this formless verse on the wall of the south corridor, and the master has told everyone to recite it, saying that to practice by this verse brings great benefit. I said, "Sir, I have been pounding rice here for more than 8 months and have not yet been to the Dharma hall. I beg you to lead me to the verse, that I may bow before it." The boy led me to the verse and I bowed. I said, "Huineng cannot read. Please read it through for me." A petty officer from Zhangzhou, named Zhang Riyong, then read it aloud. When I had heard it, I said to him, "I too have a verse. I hope you will write it down for me." The officer said, "You can compose a verse too? How strange." I said to him, "If you wish to learn supreme awakening, do not look down on a beginner. The lowest of people may hold the highest wisdom. The highest of people may at times have no wisdom at all. To slight a person carelessly brings boundless misdeeds." The officer said, "Then recite your verse, and I will write it down for you. If you should receive the Dharma, you must save me first. Do not forget these words." My verse went like this: Bodhi originally has no tree. The bright mirror too is no stand. Originally there is not a single thing. Where could any dust settle? When this verse was written, all the disciples were amazed and said to one another, "How strange! Truly we cannot judge a person by appearance. How is it that in so short a time he has become a living bodhisattva?" Seeing them so startled and fearing that someone might harm me, the fifth patriarch wiped away the verse with his shoe, saying, "This one too has not seen self-nature," and the assembly believed it was so. The next day, the fifth patriarch came quietly to the threshing shed. Seeing me pounding rice with a stone tied to my waist, he said, "A seeker of the way forgets his own body for the sake of the true Dharma. Just so it should be." Then he asked me, "Is the rice ready?" I answered, "The rice has long been ready. It only awaits the sieve." The fifth patriarch struck the mortar 3 times with his staff and left. I understood his meaning at once. So in the third watch of the night, I entered the patriarch's room. The fifth patriarch covered us with his robe so no one could see, and explained the Diamond Sutra to me himself. When he came to the words, "Let the mind arise without dwelling on anything," at that very phrase I had a great awakening, that all things are not apart from self-nature. I said to the fifth patriarch, "Who would have known that self-nature is originally this pure? Who would have known that self-nature is originally without birth or death? Who would have known that self-nature is originally complete in itself? Who would have known that self-nature is originally without wavering? Who would have known that self-nature can give rise to all things?" The fifth patriarch, knowing that I had awakened to self-nature, said to me, "If you do not recognize your own original mind, then even much learning of the Dharma is of no benefit. If you recognize your own original mind and see your own original nature, you may be called a great hero who tames others, a teacher of gods and humans, a Buddha." I received the Dharma in the third watch, and none of the assembly knew. The fifth patriarch handed down to me the sudden teaching in the robe and bowl and charged me, "You are now the sixth patriarch. Guard and watch over yourself well, save beings widely, and pass this mind Dharma on to later generations. Do not let it be cut off." Listen to my verse. "In the field of beings, the Buddha seed is sown. When the ground is ripe, the Buddha fruit is born. Without feeling, there is no Buddha seed. Without the Buddha seed nature, no Buddha is born." The fifth patriarch said again, "In the past, Bodhidharma came to China. Because people did not yet trust his transmission, he passed down this robe and bowl as a proof, handed from generation to generation. But the Dharma itself is transmitted from mind to mind, so that each person awakens and is freed by himself. Since ancient times, the Buddhas have transmitted only the essence of self-nature. The masters have secretly entrusted only the original mind of self-nature. The robe and bowl are a cause of contention. Let them stop with you. Do not pass them on. If you continue to pass on the robe and bowl, your life will be in danger. You must leave here quickly, for I fear someone will harm you." I asked the fifth patriarch, "Where should I go to spread the Dharma and save beings?" The patriarch said, "At Huiji you may stop. At Sihui you may hide." Having received the robe and bowl in the third watch, I said to the fifth patriarch, "I am a southerner. I have never known these mountain roads. How can I reach the mouth of the river?" The patriarch said, "Do not worry, I will see you off myself." The fifth patriarch saw me all the way to the post station at Zhujiang and had me board a boat. He himself took the oar and rowed. I said, "Master, please sit. Your disciple should row." The patriarch said, "It is right that I ferry you across." I said, "When one is deluded, the master ferries him. Once awakened, one ferries oneself." The word ferry is the same, but its use is not. I was born in a remote place, and my speech is not correct. Yet I have received the mind Dharma from you, Master, and now I am awakened. It is right that I ferry myself by my own self-nature." The patriarch said, "So it is, so it is. From now on, the Dharma will spread because of you. 3 years after you leave, I will pass away. Go now, travel south. Do not be in a hurry to teach. The Dharma does not arise easily." I took my leave of the fifth patriarch and set out toward the south. In about 2 months, I reached Dayu Ridge. Several hundred people had come chasing after me, wishing to seize the robe and bowl. Among them was a monk whose lay surname was Chen, named Huineng. Before becoming a monk, he had been a fourth-rank general. His nature was rough, and his heart for seeking the way was keen. He hurried ahead of the others and was the first to catch up with me. I set the robe and bowl on a rock and said, "This robe represents the transmission of the Dharma. Can it be seized by force?" Then I hid in the grass. Huineng arrived and tried to lift the robe and bowl, but they would not move. He called out, lay brother, I have come for the Dharma, not for the robe and bowl." So I came out from the grass and sat cross-legged on the rock. Huineng bowed and said, "I hope the lay brother will teach me the Dharma." I said, "Since you have come for the Dharma, first put to rest all the shadows of conditioned thought. Do not let a single thought arise, and I will teach you." Huineng stood in silence. After a long while I said, "Do not think of good. Do not think of evil." At this very moment, what is the original face of the Venerable Huineng? At these words, Huineng was suddenly awakened. He asked again, "Beyond the secret words and secret meaning you have spoken, is there still some further secret meaning?" I said, "What I have told you is no secret. If you can turn your gaze inward and behold yourself, illuminate and examine your own self-nature, the secret is right beside you, within yourself." Huineng said, "Though I studied under the Fifth Patriarch at Huangmei, I had never truly awakened to my own original face. Now that you have shown me, it is like a person drinking water, who alone knows whether it is cold or warm. Now the lay brother is my master." I said, "Since you say so, you and I are both disciples of the Fifth Patriarch of Huangmei. Guard and watch over yourself well." Huineng asked again, "Where should I go from here?" Huineng said, "At Yunzhou you may stop. At Mengshan you may settle." So Huineng bowed, took his leave, and departed. Later I reached Kaohsiung, where evil people again came searching for me. So I took refuge at Sihui, hiding among a band of hunters for 15 years. During that time I often taught the hunters the Dharma, as the occasion allowed. The hunters often set me to watch their nets. Whenever I saw a bird or animal caught, I set it free. At meal times I would put vegetables to cook at the edge of the meat pot. When someone asked, I said, "I eat only the vegetables beside the meat." One day I thought to myself, it is time to come out and spread the Dharma. I cannot remain hidden forever. So I left the hunters and came to Faxing Temple in Guangzhou, where the Dharma master Yinzong was expounding the Nirvana Sutra. Just then a wind came up and a banner fluttered in the wind. One monk said, "The wind is moving." Another said, "The banner is moving." The two argued without end. I stepped forward and said to them, "It is not the wind that moves, nor the banner that moves. It is your minds, good sirs, that move." All who heard this were astonished. Dharma Master Yinzong invited me to the seat of honor and asked me about the deep meaning of the Dharma. Hearing me teach, my words simple, my meaning clear, not drawn from the letter of the text, he said, "The lay brother is surely no ordinary person. Long ago, I heard that the robe and Dharma of the Fifth Patriarch of Huangmei had come south. Could it be you?" I said, "I would not dare claim so." Then Yinzong bowed to me and asked me to show the assembly the robe and bowl handed down by the Fifth Patriarch. He asked again, "When the Fifth Patriarch of Huangmei handed down the robe and the Dharma, what instruction did he give?" I said, "He gave no instruction. He spoke only of seeing self-nature, not of meditative concentration or liberation." Yinzong asked, "Why not of concentration and liberation?" I said, "Because to speak of concentration and liberation makes them two things, something to seek and someone seeking, and that is not the Buddha's Dharma. The Buddha's Dharma is the Dharma of non-duality without distinction or opposition." Yinzong asked again, "What is this non-dual Dharma of the Buddha?" I said, "The Nirvana Sutra you expound makes clear that Buddha nature is the non-dual Dharma of the Buddha. For example, the Bodhisattva, lofty virtue king, asked the Buddha, if a person breaks the four grave precepts, commits the five heinous crimes, or is an Echantika who does not believe in the Dharma, has he forever cut off his roots of goodness and his Buddha nature? The Buddha said, there are two kinds of roots of goodness, one permanent, one impermanent. But Buddha nature is neither permanent nor impermanent, and so it is not cut off. This is called non-duality. One is good, the other not good. But Buddha nature is neither good nor not good, and so it is called non-dual. The five aggregates in the 18 realms. Ordinary people see them as two, but one who has wisdom penetrates their nature and knows it is originally without duality, without distinction. This nature without duality is the Buddha nature. Hearing the Dharma I had spoken, Yinzong rejoiced. He joined his palms in reverence and said, my expounding of the sutras is like broken tiles and gravel. The lay brother's discourse on the meaning is like pure, refined gold. Then he shaved my hair and beard for me and vowed to serve me as his master. So beneath the Bodhi tree planted by the Tripitaka Master Jiao, I began to expound the sudden teaching of the East Mountain School. Since receiving the Dharma at East Mountain, I have suffered many hardships, my life often in danger. Today, to sit in this Dharma assembly with the prefect, the officials and the monks, nuns, Taoists, and lay people is owing to the karmic affinity for the Dharma we have formed over many ages, and to the roots of goodness we planted together by making offerings to the Buddhas in lives past. Only thus can we now hear the conditions of this sudden teaching. This teaching was handed down by the sages of the past. It is not my own wisdom alone. Those who wish to hear the teaching of the ancient sages, first purify your own minds, and having heard, each of you put away your doubts, and you will be no different from the sages of old. When the assembly had heard the Master's teaching, they rejoiced, bowed, and departed.